We're
What
divorcing
did I
you.
just come back
Forced
into?
divorce.
Forced divorce.
Forced divorce. I used to say.
First divorce.
I used to say Forced divorce.
Or
That's what it looks like.
It does.
It does look
But
like
that's
horse
just
divorce.
because it's French.
Yes, it's French. Hors Actually, Odell, to be
Oh my
specific.
goodness. Here comes
Like
comes
half
the person
of
who's
the
going to
letters are
correct
missing.
us and tell us how to say it nicely in French
Yes.
with an accent.
Yes. Yes, because I took French for 4 years in high school, even though it was completely pointless.
Yeah, no,
Nah,
I
Were
did the
you
same.
in Canada?
3 years French.
The French can take their fancy wine bottles and shove it where the sun don't shine. Maybe it'll
They
give them a
already
spine.
do.
I mean,
Oh my god. Oh,
sounds like a weekend.
Sounds like a good weekend.
That's
Ooh,
I
French.
was gonna
We
say,
just got
I was gonna
here.
say
We
Sam.
just-
They're French. They already do.
They're French.
French.
You know when the
French?
French do that thing where they're French?
I'm a
the
big fan of
French
their
do the
Yes.
thing where they're
Yes,
French.
you know what? You know what? I do that all the time.
So you take
I
those
just-
extra letters and you just swallow them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the TMI section. Dinner and a game. Welcome,
Oui.
Welcome
you all.
to New England, where we take extra letters and swallow them and just add in extra letters where they don't belong.
If they don't go. God
So,
damn.
the only thing I caught about that is all New England swallows. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Especially-
rude.
Hey, you know
Probably
what?
accurate, but rude.
Swallowers are just better.
True. True.
Oh
I'm
my
not even
God.
going to try to argue that
Wow.
one. Like I could,
Don't.
but I'm not going to.
Don't
This
do
is
it.
I don't
no
know.
Would you
dream.
rather have a spitter, Sam?
If you're not 18, you're 12.
I mean,
You're
it
not
depends
18 or
on-
12, then please get out.
Please
I have
get
no
out.
filter.
We don't need
Filters?
A filter.
We have those?
No.
That's what we're
Didn't
saying.
think so.
They
There
don't
you go.
exist.
The disclaimer is up.
There we go. Perfect.
Filters are there so I don't get tea leaves in my tea.
The only kind of filters we accept.
oh my God! Why is my brain like this tonight? Oh.
You just
Because-
said that
Because
you
the
no,
were
world
no.
is burning.
She was like, filters are there because so I don't get tea leaves in my tea, and I was like, filters are there so you can recycle lube. I don't.
Oh, hey, that's a good point.
What are the logistics of I'm not even gonna
All valid and true points. Valid and true points.
We're going to jail.
we're off to the best possible start.
We are
Yeah,
off to the
thank
best
you.
possible start.
We're
Well,
off
I
to
mean,
the
we're
only
talking about
possible
machinery. I don't know where the rest of y'all went, but
If I told you that, hell, we might even go past that 18 plus rating.
there we go. There we
no.
go. Ladies and
Say
gentlemen,
more
welcome-
right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dinner and a Game, where we
Hi,
get together. Well, I could just be Sam. Oh, hi, Am.
My wife.
Saying
Give-
hi.
I hate this having to go to bed early shit.
It's stupid, and I
I'm
hate it for you
sorry.
too.
Yeah.
Em, it's okay. Oh God,
I
I
hate
can't.
the getting
I can't.
up early and shit. Like sleep is acceptable. It's the waking up that's not.
Mhm.
True.
Load.
Absolute dude. I'm letting go. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dinner and Game, where we get together every week and try and play a role-playing game amidst all the chaos that happens with this chaos gremlins. My name is Ray. I'm your host. I'm the founder of the Feast here at Dinner and a Game, and we are going to be playing a fantasy RPG tonight, which is based on a homebrew world called The Kingdoms of Myth. Now, this world is something I created because I love the movie Treasure Planet, but I wanted it to be fantasy, not sci-fi. So I created a world, gave it a backstory, gave it a meta plot, and then I threw these people into it, and since then they've been blowing everything up and, you know, causing the chaoses.
Excuse
We cause no
you.
chaos. You give us the chaos.
I distinctly remember you blowing up the college, and we
I
didn't
did
even.
blow up the college, but that was
And
And
you blew
shunting
up-
us
I wasn't
four
present.
You kinda
months
blew up the
forward in
spindle.
time.
Yeah, and
I-
the spindle,
I
and
didn't-
Evertree.
I didn't blow up the spindle. I bombarded it from orbit.
You bombed it.
You
I'm
bombed
bombed
it.
it.
That's still. Oh, sorry, Naga.
Sorry, Naga.
I stopped petting her for 2 seconds.
Milagros is not going to be allowed to play tonight. Naga has said that she.
You won't. Oh my god.
So, everyone, how are you guys doing? We haven't been together in a little. How are you guys doing? Yay.
Acceptable.
Like
Acceptable.
generally good.
We're not dead.
We are not.
Apologies. That was
Still breathing.
Generally,
did not think
I
about the
ate
words
today.
exiting my mouth.
Oh well, you know.
Yeah.
I guess there's.
I don't think sometimes
It's okay.
we know
It's
this.
okay.
It's all right.
Intelligence
No
is a
one
dumb
really
stat.
does.
Intelligence is a dumb
Dumb
stat.
stat, without a doubt. Speaking of that, if anyone wants to know what that's in reference to, we have merch, and one of those pieces of merch is a shirt or cup or anything else you'd like that says "Intelligence is a dumb stat," which is the theme, motto, and slogan and life's goal of this crew.
I
I feel like I need it
Yes.
cross-stitched and hung up in my library.
You guys have still actually made some intelligent choices, so you still haven't gotten rid of every single brain cell.
Yeah.
We're working on it really hard.
I have the last one right here. Don't worry. I'm keeping it.
I don't know what you're. Why would I do that? It sounds wrong.
I mean,
Um,
you are the smartest of all of us.
Yeah.
We
Val's
don't
the
have
brain-
stats anymore, guys.
Val's the brain cell.
No one has.
Val is still the brain cell.
Val is still the brain cell, and then Drake
Still
is the bitchier brain cell.
Is the bitch your brain cell?
I'm
Oh,
adding
wait,
that
I
as
mean,
an
you are now-
epithet.
Oh, that's not
I'm
fair. I'm
adding
getting
that as
auto
an
censored.
epithet. I'm adding
Val
that.
is
The
the
bitchy
brain
brain
cell.
cell.
Val is the brain
Yeah.
cell people go to when they want a plan where most everyone survives, and Drake is the brain cell everyone goes to when that's not really necessary to the plan succeed.
No.
Done.
Drake is
That
the one
is
you go
always
to when you need a plan where morals aren't really a question.
Life is immoral.
Life is immoral.
Life
or
is amoral.
Amoral.
Oh, amoral.
A-
There you go.
That's what I said.
Amoral.
Immoral.
I could argue also immoral, but that's okay. We're gonna move on.
Exactly.
And then there's
Depends on who
like
you ask.
Callie and Utopia, who are just here. Probably not for a long time, but definitely for a good time.
Definitely.
Not here
for
for
a
a
good
long
time.
time. Here for a good time.
And of course, there's the ever-growing polycule.
Yeah.
Really cool.
The polycule that is currently mostly in our dreams.
Yes.
It'll be real one day.
I don't
It'll
know.
be
Didn't
real.
Lex and Callie bathe together once?
They did bathe together once.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Nice.
I just want to keep things on the up and up and keep everything right in the notes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
will
of course,
say
yes.
this is
That's
one
fair.
of the
That's fair.
games where this is one of few games where we tend to bathe separately and not as a team.
Mm.
Well,
I mean,
Beth
tells
House
you
is
how-
a thing.
That tells you how my home games go.
We can change that.
Yeah.
As long as it fades to black so we don't get a toss violation.
True. Fair.
That's also valid. Fair.
I mean, it can be like an onsen situation, where that's just like the cultural
That's just
norm.
that's how it's done.
Or you guys can role play whatever you want to play, and then when you get to that specific, we fade to black, and then you take it to the Discord server and do it in the role play section. The Discord server.
You say that
is
like I
for-
wouldn't.
The Discord server is for
Right.
adults. I don't care if you do or not. The Discord server is screened by being requiring adults to be only people who enter it.
Yep.
So that is there, and if you go join the Discord server, we do have RP channels. They haven't been used a lot because there's been a lot of chaos in everyone's schedules lately. But they were used in the past, and hopefully they'll be used again in the future. And plus, this crew doesn't get a lot of downtime.
No, we
I
don't.
say downtime. The fuck is that? We
Well,
go
the
from
longest-
one fucking
does that
situation
mean?
to another.
What is the timeline? We've been playing this game for 2.5 years.
Yep.
What's the amount of time that's actually passed in game?
Livable time, not
37? Like time we've actually experienced
Mhm.
from from when the original 5 met at the Restless Sky Inn to
Mhm.
now is like maybe 40 days, maybe, including like the time skip from like traveling for several days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's maybe been a month and like a week.
And
Maybe.
in grand total scheme for the actual universe, it's only been 4 months. 5 months.
Yes.
5 months.
5 months.
5
5
months.
months.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No!
Lost power.
Johnny the fuck?
They lost power.
Oh damn it!
Oh no.
Oh my gosh,
no.
I stayed in my place.
Wait, that is in their location lost power or their computer lost power?
They
Mm.
said lost power.
Lost
Just
power.
lost
Okay,
power.
so probably a brownout.
See if
Possibly.
they can get back in. I'll leave this thing at the. Are they talking on Discord or in chat?
Discord.
That was on Discord.
Discord.
I had to turn Discord down. Oh, look at my phone. Look at this. Not remembering that I have multiple venues of technology because, I'm fucking Gen X. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give a few moments for Liz to get back in. However, remember, if you want to support Dinner and a Game in any way, shape, or form, there are many ways to do so. Number one, and one of my favorites, is you can use this link at Many Worlds Taverns. Many Worlds Taverns is a wonderful ethical coffee and tea company that we discovered. If you use that link and go in and place your order and then use that code in chat, you can get 10% off your first order. Many Worlds Taverns has multiple different flavors of coffee with different crown levels. They have decaf, they have regular, they have dark roast, they have medium roast. They do have a light roast, I believe. They are marvelous, but the most special thing I think about Many Worlds Taverns is that they do a monthly limited run tea. Usually it's either from a very certain region.
Fifi.
Café. And and one of the things they do is they do like this month's is a honey infused coffee from South America, so it's called Jaguar. But also what came with Jaguar is you get a set of dice. Nope, that's not. I think I opened them all. So anyway, you get a free set of dice, and they give you a magic item every month. This month we actually got 2 magic items. The first one is this item called the Cardinal's Wing. It's
Ooh.
a magic cape. There she is.
Yay!
I'll have to fix the cameras just a second. But the Cardinal's Wings is a wondrous rare item. It is a cloak adorned
I'm
with
in
shoulders
this
with
right now.
cardinal feathers. Huh? I know you're in this. And while wearing this cloak, you gain proficiency in charisma saving throws. In addition, once per day, you can cast ethereal, using charisma as your spellcasting ability if you don't have one. While you're attuned to the Cardinal's breastplate and the Cardinal's wings at the same time, you also gain the advantage on charisma saving throws. The second item was the Cardinal's breastplate. I showed this one. Very pretty. The art in these is also very gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Backwards. But the breastplate is hand painted with bright scarlet feathers. While you wear this armor, you add your charisma modifier to your AC instead of your dexterity modifier. There is no maximum AC bonus from charisma incurred by this armor. When you're attuned to the Cardinal's breastplate and the Cardinal's wing at the same time, the Cardinal's breastplate does not count towards your maximum number of attunements. These are kind of really cool, and I was thinking, like, but
Ooh.
the reason we can't use them in this cameras are good.
Yep.
Have Sex Panther. They probably do have Sex Panther. If not, I will email them and suggest them as the next flavor name. Because
I drink it.
nothing quite says coffee like Sex Panther. And I am
I've
very
forgotten
positive-
about that band until just now.
There's actually a
I
band
think
called
that's
Sex Panther.
There's
I
a
think
band
that-
called Sex Panther, yeah.
Yeah, I
they
think I
named
actually
themselves
did.
after the joke.
I don't think that they did. They probably predate
Nope.
the joke.
So, they probably do.
Sex
Dick
Panther
Go.
sounds like a very 80s or 90s band.
Very
I believe
much
it is
so.
an 80s
It's-
or 90s.
I was gonna
band.
say that sounds definitely like the 80s.
It's an Anchorman reference.
Oh,
Yeah, so it definitely
so
predates the joke.
To Google. Sex
Google.
Panther.
I saw that, Sam.
Googling Sex Panther. Well, someone's
Bam.
gonna be lost down the porn tube there. So anyway,
Oh, there's Steel Panther.
Oh no, my internet history
oh no,
It's
my
fucked.
browser history.
again.
Weird Dan Avidan pops up when I type it in.
I just damn it. I can't die now. I have to clear my browser. Anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to be playing this game using a different rule set than D&D 5e. This did start out as a 5e game, but we decided to move away from 5e. I don't know if we'll stay away or not. There's a lot of games that are produced for 5e that are not licensed by Wizards of the Coast. And I've been thinking about it a lot because those games and those game companies do deserve support. But, I don't know. We might talk about it later. And Sphinx, that might be a good topic for chatting. About whether, it comes back to the good argument. Is there any ethical consumption?
Yeah, there you go.
No.
And I would just, probably not. But anyway. So, but we're not using a game called Quest. Quest is an incredibly fun, incredibly cinematic game that allows you only one dice roll to control your actions in the game. All weapons do fixed damage, all spells do fixed damage, and you have one dice roll. And the dice roll is not a straight dice roll, it is a degree of success dice roll. A natural 20 on a d20 is a crit. A 16 through 19 is a success. An 11 through 15 is a partial success. A 10 through down through 6, I do believe, partial failure. And then a 5 through 2 is a failure, and a 1 is a critical failure. So it's this huge range on the d20, and there's no modifiers to the roll. You just roll that d20, and no matter how good you are with a sword, you can still fuck up. And no matter how good you are with casting spells, but the game is also powered by plot points, which are given out and earned quickly and easily, and those are used to power things like spells and everything like that. Everyone gets 5 at the start of everyone's game. How many does everyone have right now? You guys are into the 20s by now, right? Because not a lot of you use. I know Callie used a lot of them when she almost died.
I have rarely
Back up to
used
25.
Yeah.
I have rarely used any of mine. I'm currently at 30.
Yeah.
I'm at 30.
Yeah, I'm also at 30 because I haven't had the chance to use anything yet.
Yeah, I'm at 24 right now because all I've been using is message.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
The Valestein messaging system.
Yeah, I know. He's even been doing his own spokes modeling.
You've been using the Call 3-in-1 messaging service. Please hold.
Very reliable
Will you-
carrier.
Will you
Very
accept
reliable.
charges?
Will you accept the
Coverage
charges?
itself.
It's called.
But anyway, when we left off, they had actually gotten to a new planet, and it is the Gnome homeworld. Oh God, I can't.
It's a gnome world.
Gordon?
It's a
no world.
It's
It's
a
the gnome
horrible
world.
It's a gnome world.
It's the gnome home.
It's Gordon.
Gnome home.
Is it Cordanthan or Cordanthor?
Cordanthan.
There's gnome home like home.
There's no home like gnome.
Oh
home.
my! There's no
Yes.
home like
There's no
home.
gnome home.
Gnome home like
Nom,
gnome.
nom, nom,
Now,
nom,
everyone
nom,
say
nom.
that 3 times fast.
Nope.
No.
Okay, no way, no.
Gnome. I mean, no. Fuck.
No, no.
There's no gnome like gnome home. Wait, I didn't get it right.
No gnome home.
No home like
Gnome
gnome
way
home.
home?
Gnome way home.
All I
Gnome way
can
home.
think of is that cat. Nom, 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 nom.
Gnome coming.
It's very
Gnome
very,
coming.
very
There you go.
long week.
So far from gnome.
It's only
Far from
Wednesday,
gnome.
you're
Far
right.
from gnome.
Far from gnome.
Gnomen holiday.
Oh no.
Gnome alone.
Oh God, stop.
Gnome Alone 2 away from Gnome.
Oh,
Gnome for the holidays.
Why?
Sweet Gnome, Alabama.
Oh, it's Cordanthan. There, now I can
Pick
move
me
on.
gnome.
Yeah, I was okay.
Country roads.
Cordanthan.
No.
Um,
Fuck you.
so they flew. They brought their airship to Cordanthan. They were instantly asked to come and land at the docks at the High Palace, and they were brought. They were actually greeted by an older gnome who had like no guards with him, no nothing, and told them they were going to be taken to see the king, and that the delay in their trip would be worth their time because they originally just stopped here to like refuel and everything like that.
And repair.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel and repair, yeah.
Because Cordanthan is one of the premier, it's probably the premier planet for these skyships. So it is basically if you have to get repairs done anywhere, this is your.
Indeed.
So you guys were, as I remember when we left off, you were following him inside the palace.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Right. So the palace has a huge entryway, and even though it's there's gnomes all over the place. There are Dragonborn all over the place. Oh no, he had 2 Dragonborn guards with him. And there's gnomes all over the place. There's Dragonborn all over the place. There is a lot of dwarves that are moving to and fro. And there is a few around. You don't see any sign of any elves. And so you're moving through this throng of people, and you get to these huge high doors that open into a majestic entry area. As you walk into the entry area doesn't have any windows but there are gems embedded all in the walls and the ceilings, and each one of those gems is emitting different colors of light. You can see that there are different degrees of light. And there's red gems, there's blue gems, there's green gems, but there's also obvious emeralds. There's also obvious diamonds. Also, so the walls and ceiling of this place are worth a metric fortune.
Almost as much as us.
Dun, dun, dun. Actually, Drake and Val, that's more wealth than you got. You don't know how rich Utopia is, but that is probably rivaling her family's wealth by some, and it's just the end of all.
Wow.
They are certainly
Okay.
putting on quite the display.
Can we decorate the ship like this? This is so cool.
That
We
makes
would
me a bit.
need to take over a small planet to do that.
No, we
No,
got a lot of
so-
stuff.
I mean, Utopia probably has enough money. We could buy a small planet.
Probably not. Maybe a planetoid, but with the Elatrans kicking everyone off, naval, you might not have it for.
Mm.
I can confirm that.
So the housing market is going up.
Across the great.
What housing market?
You have a giant boat. Why do you need a house?
No idea. That we don't know what
I
they're
mean,
talking
maybe
about
Utopia
right now.
has several estates.
It's true.
That's
Part of the
true.
problem.
Real
I'm
estate
kidding.
is supposedly a safe investment. I've heard that before. I don't know how true it is.
Well, it's all about location. It matters where you buy and from who. This doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
If you borrow from,
That's
if you
why
buy
the-
from riffraff, you're just riffraff yourself.
Was that why
Fair.
there's that saying location, location, location?
Precisely. Yes.
I suppose.
I thought that just
Now-
meant you needed 3 homes.
That's how you.
Oh my God. 3 is a reasonable amount, I think.
Val,
Yes.
the gears are turning.
Callie looks at Utopia.
But
and
Yeah,
I'd
we
says,
can hear the
I'd be
noise.
concerned.
I didn't even have a house.
Do you mean Camille?
Yeah, Camille, sorry.
Okay, I was like,
Whoops.
Callie,
Camille looks
Baxter
at you and says, I didn't even have a house. We rented a place.
would you like 3 houses?
Not this again.
Is it when's
This
the
is not the
appropriate
time.
Camille's like, okay,
Not now.
let's just.
Probably not now, sweetheart.
We probably want to find a safe place first.
Indeed.
Val,
You probably want to. Yes, Drake.
do you mind setting up a private line so we don't get eavesdroppers?
And Val will go, one moment. And then in Val's voice, connected.
Connected.
I want that on my Bluetooth now.
You have to record that for us.
Please.
They're putting on a big show, both of wealth and technological advancement. You noticed?
Val gives Drake a look and then gestures to everything.
I think I see a possible opportunity at hand that we may be able to take advantage of. They've shown they're no fan of the Electron Navy, correct?
True.
And although they made us officers, the one who made us officers did so that we may use the Navy's supplies and resources as needed, essentially doing the same thing to them as they do to others. I'm sure they'll find this humorous.
Sure.
Perhaps considering how we work as free agents, primarily for the Night Mother in no particular country, this may benefit us in getting us additional allies and additional support.
What exactly are you proposing, Drake?
I'm proposing we bring up the fact that what we're doing doesn't tie us down to one particular nation, and that we have been given leeway to use, inadvertently, the military's own tactic against them as we need to accomplish said mission, and should they be interested, we would not mind additional support. Considering what we're doing, it's no doubt they've noticed things going on. Seeing individuals which have actually brought about the end-to-enemy plans is sure to intrigue them.
So what we're hearing essentially is that we are advertising that we are, for all intents and purposes, independents acting on no one's behalf outside of the Night Mother.
Precisely.
Your private
We
team.
thought that was already known.
We
We
may
were under
have
the
to be,
impression that was common knowledge.
perhaps, perhaps not, considering how some of the others acted in some of the other cities we visited.
Huh?
This will help us fully sell it the fact that these rumors are true, and more likely to get us aid. Aid which we could very well use considering their level of technology. Considering we're in the yacht, we're currently getting the ship some repairs, some upgrades while we're here could give us an edge against anything we're facing.
You are not wrong.
We just have to get them to offer it rather than
I-
request it.
I wager we should tread carefully in this matter. We are strangers here, and while requesting aid and allyship is one thing, pressing our luck is another entirely.
I agree, hence why I'm playing the role of the acolyte, not the politician or soldier. Help sell the whole independence thing.
So you guys are having this conversation and we're walking across this area, and the area is large enough, or the open I've totally lost my words. The open area where the entryway that comes in, it's basically a giant greeting area. You see that there's lots of people standing around here, inside here as well. Although technically you're inside the palace. The only guard you've seen is there was 2 guards on the insides of the doors. There is directly across from the main doors, there's another set of smaller wooden doors. And then to the left and the right of this large domed entry area, there is another set of similar doors to the left and right as well. The doors to the left have the sigil of a large hammer, and it's smashing down on an anvil, and the anvil is cracked. That is the door on the left. The door on the right has a large oak leaf emblazoned on it. And for the first time ever, you see that there are 2 elves armor standing in front of on the either side of that door. Standing in front of either side of the door on the left with the cracked anvil and the hammer is a set of dwarven guards. Directly across from you, there is another set of dragonborn guardsmen who are standing at either side of the door. And on that door, there is a clear crystal that is literally somehow embedded in the wood. And as you walk towards the doors, the crystal lights up, gives off a warm, soft light, and one of the guards steps forward. And he says, "You, taken before His Royal Highness, know that once you not be able to also, you must voluntarily submit in order to be in the presence of wish to enter."
It would be an honor.
Sure.
You don't try to lie.
God!
Val looks at Rami and everyone else. Sounds like a plan.
So he says, "Well," and Dragonborn reaches back with his hit, and they both open the doors and they step inside. As the doors open, the crystal just floats up. You can see that where the crystal should have been embedded in wood somehow, there's just wood. The doors are solid.
Weird.
Interesting.
Thank you very much for the raid, Dungeon Crawlers. We really appreciate it.
Oh,
damn.
you guys
Four
came at a
wonderful
juicy
people.
time.
Yes.
Well, hello there.
We're about to meet a king.
Welcome
About
to
meet
the party.
a gnomish king. So the crystal floats up above the doorway and then slides up towards the center of the ceiling, where it joins 3 other crystals. One of them is blue, one of them is green, and there's a third one that is yellow, but that one seems to actually be embedded in the top of the ceiling. The other 2 are floating, and the white crystal goes up and joins them, and they're all about the same size. So as you come forward into the room, you all can feel that you can feel that resonating tone of magic that you always feel when you're close to the crystals in the engines or the crystals of power of the ship. You can feel that incredible sensation of power. And the crew walks in, and they are instantly kind of overwhelmed with this. And great.
Yes.
What do you think the biggest falsehood that Drake absolutely believes?
Ooh. Ooh,
very
that's
much for the
actually a
follow-on
tough
insight.
one. That's a tough one.
Lex? Callie? Topia? Val? Same question holds true for all of you.
Now, is that in regards to like falsehood as in he knows this is not true? Or
It may be something that he... No, it has to be something that he is convinced himself of.
Okay.
Biggest lie is always a lie we tell to ourselves.
Oh, this is deep.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Which one? we have
Probably
our
which
chat.
chat is this?
which chat is this? We all want to look.
Oh boy.
And Raiders, thank you very much for joining in. We are not playing
Yeah.
5e. We are actually playing a system called Quest, which is a D20 based system, but very, very different, but much simpler. So we thank you very much for the raid, and hope you stick around.
Do we have to say it?
You can say it out loud. You can put it to me in chat. You can message me on Discord. Any way you like to do it.
Oh, okay.
Val would say that the biggest lie that he has convinced himself of is that his parents never actually cared about him outside of being another tool that they could use in their political machinations.
You remember your 11th birthday. Parents were actually supposed to not be attendants at the party because your father had been tapped ambassador on a trade deal, and your family was big into trade, and he
Right.
was tapped to be a ambassador on a trade deal, and he has often had to go out of town this special days before. This was your birthday. And your mother was going to be staying with you. At the last minute, her mother said that she would go because there was an emergency in the family. I distinctly remember crushed. And as the party started, the rest of your family was there, and everyone was doing everything they could to cheer you. Devastated. You were doing your best to smile, nod, but it was kind of hollow thing. And at the last minute, the doors to the because the party was out on the lawn. Last minute, the doors to the estate swung open, and your mother and father came out onto the lawn with a giant bundle of balloons, wearing horrifically clown costumes. And they proceeded to spend the rest of the afternoon entertaining you and your friends by putting on these horribly caricatured voices and making fun of themselves, as in your parents making fun of the characters of the clowns are making fun of your parents for having abandoned their son on his birthday, saying what a fool they because they left the precious behind.
Tear falls down Val's face.
Everyone else put theirs in chat.
Mine
I'm
in there.
still wording mine properly.
Sure,
This is so hard.
It's hard.
Phrasing.
Sam.
Everything is hard.
Hey.
Hey, Sam, do you mind if I bring that one out publicly, or do you want to?
Absolutely do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Drake, your mother was executed by the Navy, correct?
hmm
Were you present? They made you.
He was too young at that point to remember that, unfortunately. Or probably fortunately in his case.
Oh God, yes. So who did you stay with after your mother on? Did you know your father, or because you never really put much about him in?
Barely. He was with him for a short time until the injuries sustained were too much, and his father was forced to give him up.
How old were you when that happened?
Probably close to 5 years old, if that.
So, kind of spent your life going from captain to captain or person to person, bouncing around. And you began to see everyone ever on a crew as your. As you climb the ranks and you get commands, whenever things would go badly, it always weighed on you or worse. You're sitting there and you're just having a storm of recollection, memories coming through your head of situations that you were put in where you had to make hard decisions that were going to affect not just the lives of the people under your command, but possibly the lives of your entire crew. That when you issued those orders, even though the people under your command knew what the risks were, they respected you and respected each other and to walk into those sacrifices. You cannot remember a single time where any order you gave, although they were all scared, a lot of them were scared when they carried out the orders. You can't remember a single time that anyone you had to give orders balked. Also, every single time you remember you trying to force yourself into that point of sacrifice. You can remember every single time someone talked you out. Finding you were the officer in charge. If anything happened to you, there would be no one in.
He just kind of, as he's walking, just stops for a second. He still's got the hood up, so he's kind of like puts his head down to hide his face, just temporarily until he can recompose himself. As he just bites it all back and just immediately starts looking around the room, trying to figure out what is causing this. What's inside of his head making this suddenly pop up. And then just does his best to just shake it off and just keep walking, pretend nothing's wrong. Put on a face.
Oh yeah. Utopia?
Oh man. Yeah.
You are walking across the room,
Mhm.
and you see, you having memories of your childhood, how you were raised, and you have these memories a lot actually, especially when anyone brings up money or anyone brings up, well, where are we going to sleep tonight? What are we going to do? How are we going to eat? Yada, yada. Anytime anyone brings up anything that that you don't think is a hardship until you realize that everyone else around you actually worries about this.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand without a shadow of a doubt that you love being able to take care of and make sure that they don't work. And then you realize something very, very fundamental. That was not something your father gave. Your father was a businessman of everything. He taught you strong and resourceful. He taught you to never back down. He taught you to never pay too much. You could pay less.
Mm-hmm.
Taught you the art of speaking properly, or had you taught the art properly. But everything he taught you was there to make sure that you taken care of, your assets, your family name were taken care of. Everything that you have done, spending this money continually making sure that everyone's healthy and happy. Just not caring about the consequences to your family, not caring anything about the consequences, just throwing their wealth away, quote unquote, anything of those nature. None of that is what you were. And that isn't something that happened because Miss Mother chose you. That's something that part of you. It's something that your father couldn't take out of you how he tried. And whether or not you all succeed in the mission the Miss Mother has given you, you aren't responsible for but your family. You have your own path to walk. You can make if you walk away.
I'm assuming that Camille's walking pretty close.
Camille actually stopped a couple of paces back.
Okay, Utopia's gonna turn and kind of take her by the arm and then find Val and kind of bring Camille over to Val and then find Drake. Basically, she's trying to get everybody into a big group hug. She wants to hug everybody.
Camille is openly weeping.
Oh
when you go to
no!
get her.
Oh.
Oh, give her a big
Dare I
hug.
even ask how
Oh
Rami's
my-
doing?
Oh no!
Rami actually looks. She's crying, but she has a smile on her face.
Oh,
Lex,
Baby.
you're making your way across the room, and you felt the magical effects. You felt everything wash across you. But everyone else stumbles a step or stops. And you keep on walking across the room. You look back at your friends. Don't know what's going on. You don't understand. And then you kind of stop and back at them. And you walk back towards want to help them. You know you're strong. And you know you can survive just about any test you've ever been given. When you and Drake were in that ship hurtling at the speed of stupidity towards the enemy army, and you turned the ship upside down so you could bury your axe in the general's head and probably several other people along the way because you're going like 90 bazillion stupid miles an hour.
Mock fuck.
Mock fuck. As you did that, you did it because you knew you had the strength to do it. There was no thought about whether or not you would survive it. There was only the concept that you were one of the people who had the strength to do this. And because you had gained that strength through never stopping and never giving in, facing every pain that you went through in the fighting pit, facing every trial you went through to earn your reputation, facing everything you did to learn to master the skills and the weapons that you did in order to gain more knowledge and more respect in your community of fighters. Everything you did, everything you built to, brought you to this point. Everything you think of when you think of yourself as nothing but a pit fighter made you the person who was part of the team that destroyed destroyed the leadership of an entire army. And every thought that you ever had, big dumb fighter, things ways, gets in something's way and hits shit. Maybe sticks their face in the mouth of a mind flare.
Hey, I do that on purpose.
Every single time you think about those thoughts, you understand what you're doing. You're using everything you've ever heard said about you to give you out. Things go wrong, dumb fighter. But you know for a fact that things mean something to you. If they didn't, would have never taken his offer to join the force. Not the role of a pit fighter. The role of a protector. What you think of yourself. Hold yourself that you say about it. Truth. Always been. Callie.
Yeah.
You are you're moving through the room, everyone else. As you do so, every single step you take seems to be harder to move your foot forward. Every single time you stretch that foot forward and push, drag the next foot up, it gets harder still. Everything that you're thinking about when you were on the ship helping heal people and you ran out of energy and you were forced to just treat wounds with bandages and water, how lacking, because you didn't have the right gifts to help everyone. When you were trying to fight on the deck of the ship and you got accidentally mauled, you were thinking about how, if you had just been quicker, stronger, faster, you could have avoided that. And you would have been able to help more when the fight instead of being injured. And then you think about all the times that you had being with these people. The time you spent traveling with Drake, learning about the world for the first time, going out in your own, all these things that you were given the chance to experience that your family and your people never did. Just because you were given a random bunch of powers. And as you drag your next foot forward and you plant it down, you see the same scenes. You see yourself tending to the most seriously wounded people you could find. You see yourself making those decisions to heal them, but understanding you had to conserve because there was someone just as bad laying next. Couldn't heal them all the way because you had to have more strength to heal others. when you were on the deck of the ship, you understood that the attack that you survived, others may not have been able to. That you could have done more, but at the same time, because you were able to withstand that, one of your friends didn't. You understand that you were able to communicate with the children at the docks in the Spindle, when your friends, except for Utopia, really couldn't. You gained their trust. Everything that you have been able to accomplish, half of it didn't even rely on your abilities. Half of it was just your presence. Your ability to soften things that were hard. To reduce things that were terrifying to something that was just odd. Sometimes you don't understand what you're saying when you say the things you say. Other times you know exactly what you're saying. And you know that Timmy and your other creations have come in and been able to key roles in situations that have made your parties alive that much stronger. You are young. You're just learning your powers and abilities. You have had no instruction. And you have already been able to aid your friends and everyone else in these adventures. Either, like I said, with your powers and abilities, simply with your presence. There is nothing about what you have been able to do and learn that is not based solely on who you are and your ability to take what you have been given and find a way to make it work for the better good of all. And above all, stuck to your mission, and you found your family and your people a safe place. Whether or not you'll ever feel that you've deserved the powers you've got, the positive thing about it is you have definitely earned them. As you all are recovering, a servant comes walking around. They have a plate, silver plate. And as they're walking through, they're holding the plate out. Kavil. It is a very strong and potent alcohol.
Say no, say less.
The effects of the true stone can be dramatic. If you do not imbibe alcohol, you do not have to drink. We can bring you water or anything else.
If no one else here plans on imbibing, I will gladly take yours.
We will take the water. Thank you.
Another servant comes up with a tray full of glasses of water. What was that, Cassie? I'm sorry?
That smells really, really strong. I think it's gone bad.
No.
It's supposed
No,
to
it's
smell that way.
just
No.
So who takes a shot?
Drake, hands down.
Lex?
Lex and Drake, definitely.
Utopia, take a shot?
Utopia looks
Camille
to Camille to
takes a
see if
shot.
she wants to take
I was
it.
gonna say, I was gonna say Lex would probably force a shot at Camille.
Okay,
no, you need
Utopia's
this.
gonna take a shot because fuck it, why not?
I mean, Callie sees everybody else do it. She's just gonna hold her nose.
Oh,
Real
Callie,
fast.
the peer pressure got
I
her.
love it. Peer pressure.
Callie-
Val takes the water.
Takes the water, sips the water.
Our brain cell needs to be intact.
So you guys feel the warmth of the drink imbibing within you, and the warmth circulates throughout your chest, and it has a very calming, settling effect. Like the warmth is soothing.
Oh,
That's better.
And the
Since
servant,
everybody's all standing together, Utopia's gonna try the group hug again.
We smushed the store servant in the middle of all of us.
As a,
I have no idea why you're hugging me, but okay.
just accept the hug. Just
Right,
accept
right.
the hug.
just
Hugs are
accept-
good.
No, I'm
Everybody
not a
needs
hugger.
hugs. Everybody needs
We don't
hugs.
care.
Rami's like,
One arm around Drake, the other arm around Utopia.
Sometimes it doesn't matter if you do or no. Somebody else does.
so everyone gets a group hug. There, as you turn around, the older gnome who had led you into the building, and he says, "That's the time I group hug."
Oh, I hope I don't have to experience much more of these in the future.
Do you
Oh,
not
you will.
hug?
Why can't
So we're
you
making
just let
group
us
hugs
give you this
mandatory
night
every
thing?
day.
Why
No.
can't you just let us give you
Every
this
night
nice
before
thing?
we go to bed.
Yes.
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night
Yeah.
before we go to bed, we get together for a group hug.
Yes,
I
we
will
have to.
hide.
We have to put Drake
Your
in the
captain
middle so he
supports
doesn't
this.
escape.
Yeah, Drake's gonna have to be in the middle.
It's
Yeah.
team
From
building.
now
You're gonna
on-
have to catch
now
me
on, when we,
first.
from now on, when we make camp, we put everyone in their PJs and give Drake his cowbell.
Yes.
Yes.
You forget, Drake. We can find you no matter where you hide now.
That's true.
And find your
Yeah.
brain.
True, but just
Brain
because you can
hugs.
find me
Brain
doesn't
hug.
mean that does not sound right.
Brain. Okay, so the gnome who's been leading you through the room stops and looks at you and he says, "All right, maybe." And he keeps walking. Directly ahead of you, there is a not super ornate. Actually, it's not ornate at all. There is a wooden throne. Behind the throne, on the back of the throne, like over where the person's head would be, there is a second crystal, much smaller, on top of the wood, like held in place. It's a similar clear crystal, like quartz, but with no flaws whatsoever. But unlike the one on the ceiling, it does not glow. And the gnome who's been leading you through the room walks up the dais, 3 steps up. The last step, he kind of like has to put one hand on his right knee and lift his left leg up, and he's like, "Frickin' sciatica!" And he goes limping across to the chair, and he turns around and he sits down, and he's like, "So, you're the chosen of the Mist Mother."
That is correct.
Drake just like underneath the hood just cracks a slight grin. It's like I probably would have done the same thing in this situation.
Most
It says-
of us.
"I wanted to speak to you. I know you're having pressing matters, chosen. But I wanted to speak to you because we have had a situation develop and we needed to speak to a representative of the Mist Mother."
Well, we have a devotee present.
What is your
Um,
request?
It's not a request so much as it is we need an ambassador.
We have one. Gestures to Drake.
Yeah, she's gonna put it in. We have had contact with the enemy. And apparently there is dissension in the
Of your own or the enemy?
of the enemies.
What kind?
Let's I wanted to meet you first before I brought you before them. And I think I've learned more than I expected.
What do you mean by this?
The gem of truth is not often a comfortable experience. And usually, most, when they hear that they will not be able to speak a falsehood, refuse. Now, of course, if we want to do business with it, we can't just say no. So we make other arrangements.
Sure.
But you all willingly walked into its radiance. And you all allowed the effects to come over you. Didn't resist, as requested. That by itself is significant. But also, when the truth washed over you, each one of you bore that pain and allowed understanding. Some of you were more heavily struck than others, which is always the case. But each one of you withstood it. That is a significant, well, it's significant. You all stand before me, a few with eyes that are a bit moister than before. But you all stand before me.
Eyes.
I have seen heads of state brought to their knees when the truth hits them. Not a one of you faltered. You may be one of the rarest groups that I have met, which makes and choices. Do you know what the Feywild is?
Legends.
We've heard of such a place.
Stories. We haven't encountered it yet.
No.
The Feywild is part of the invasion. But the reasons for each one of the different things that are invading to be here, different. Most of them want access to the commodity of living creatures. Free wills, minds, souls, etc. Some of them want access because they are driven to change. The elementals want to make any other plane their plane. Just their drive. The only way they guarantee they survive is if everywhere they go is on fire or made out of water or etc. etc.
Seems destructive and counterintuitive, but
the
whatever floats their boat.
Feywild is different. The Feywild is nature in raw form.
Ooh.
Which means it's chaos.
Hmm?
But
That sounds like
even though it is chaos, there cannot help but be some order. Otherwise, there would be no form. So, there are creatures that live there, and some of them, of course, became intelligent, etc., etc. And now there are peoples that come from the Feywild. And those peoples have ancestors who were brought here. And Feywild joined in the assault to gain access to them. and offer them a chance to. However, the Feywild had to agree to certain conditions, such as supporting the assault in whichever way they could, with troops, with different accesses to different magics that the Feywild possesses. And one of those magics is the ability to use the Feywild as a waypoint for the different realms to move through, troops through, to gain access to the prime material plane quicker.
If I remember correctly on a map I once saw, the Feywild, as well as its opposites, are just as easily connected to our plane as what, the Astral Sea, I think they said it was called.
Yes, the Feywild is literally should literally be directly adjacent to us, as what I've been explaining. But
It's
the
like
barrier
I've
of the
read it
Mist
as well.
Mother's skin stops them from being able to directly access it. But
Until now.
well, yes, but as with any skin, some of the magical energies leak through enough to let the people from the Feywild continue to. That's the whole nature of the Mist Mother. He allows the magic necessary to come through, but does not allow mention.
You say you've seen dissent. Have they tried to make contact? Tried to negotiate?
Who's ready to eat? And he gets up out of his seat.
Actually, that sounds like a wonderful idea. It's about time we have some food before we go dive headlong into a situation.
Food would be nice.
He reaches down beside the throne and he picks up this wooden walking stick, and on the end of it is a crystal. It looks like one of the standard power gems, except it rotates in color. It goes through every color of gem. And he's using that just as his handle for the walking stick. And he begins walking. He walks down the dais and he says, "Please." And he gestures, and there's a set of doors off to the right of the throne room. He says, "Everyone is waiting."
I will warn you, when we eat or right before we eat, bad things happen.
I hope not. Have guests.
We hope not.
We hope not to, but like
It's out of our control.
It would
Chaos
be nice.
and all that.
Well, hopefully we have enough protections that won't happen.
Yes.
Follow me. I would like to introduce you to. And he walks as the doors open. There is a long banquet table set out. It's not full. At the far end of the table, where there is a single high chair set for the king, there are several empty spaces. 6, 7. Sorry, I forgot. There's 7 open spaces, but there's also people inserted between. To the right of the king's chair, which is the place of high honor, is a woman who is the epitome. Is slim, angular feet, almond-shaped eyes, flowing white blonde hair, as a circlet around her head, but it's not made of any metals. It's made of different vines interwoven. You can see laurel wreaths, ivy, all interwoven about it. And instead of gems in the crown, you see different berries. Raspberries, there's strawberries, there's all kinds of different berries growing in the thrones, but they sparkle in the light as if. Her dress looks to be made of woven spider silk. And it hangs down on her like almost like a chemise, but it's long and elegant. And she is sitting there and she has a glass of wine in her hand. Sitting directly across from her, there is a large hulking figure. He has got a very tattered cloak on over him. Coming out of the hood of the cloak looks like the skull of a deer. and coming out from the hood on either side, like kind of holding the hood back a little bit, you can see the 2 deer horns going up. And his cloak is tattered, and you can see there's layers of moss interwoven in it. And as he is eating, there's a plate in front of him. You can see that he's wearing very heavy hunting gloves on his hands, even though he's holding utensils eating. And sitting one chair over from him, one with chair over from him, there is a small humanoid figure, probably barely taller than a gnome. He is wearing a very odd looking garment. It looks almost like a jester's outfit, but it's all in greens and mottled yellows and colored patterns. And he has this wild red yellow hair that seems to like grow up, is pulled up into a point, and he has super long eyebrows come up. And he is laughing uproariously at something that someone's. And there is another person directly across from him that is a very old, wizened-looking man. And he is got. You recognize them right away. Emery's. Wrong person. Val, you recognize them right away. They are Arcanus robes. But you don't recognize any of the symbols or any of the writing. And there's a peaked wizard's hat that's hung over the back of his chair, and you can see there's a gnarled staff that's leaned up against the back of his chair, and he is looking at the smaller gentleman across from him, and he's got a huge grin on his face. And but as you're walking down in the table, your host, King of the Gnomes, looks at you. I would like to high court. Lady Titania. I would like to. And you see Lord Oberon and Lady Titania stand up. And they both nod towards you.
Utopia's
Gee,
gonna curtsy.
now you got me doing it.
Wrong game.
Wrong game.
Look at it.
Val bows.
Yep, Utopia does
Drake.
her curtsy.
Drake will put his hand together and do a bow as well, though keeping in like not bowing his head, but keeping his eyes like permanently like looking forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Callie
Lex
tries
will
to
follow.
copy.
I was gonna say the minute Val bowed, Lex was like, "Oh, I should probably do that too."
Yeah, grabbing up all
I
those
know.
like skirts and just
You can
like
see that Lord Oberon underneath there is a face. You can see the lower jaw sticking out from underneath the deer's head mask, but you can't make out any of his face. Just the chin. As you're sitting there, as you're standing there, the king says, "Please sit anywhere you like." And you can see that the chairs have been evenly distributed between lords and ladies and you all around the High King.
Oh boy!
And
Oh boy!
before we get into this obviously
Oh, God.
wonderfully delicate situation of etiquette, we're going to take a break.
it's gonna be great.
Oh boy.
Yes.
This
Oh,
is
God.
fine.
Someone uses the
This
wrong
is
fork and we're fucked. Someone uses the wrong spoon and we're fucked.
I'm eating
I-
with my
I will
hands.
Take it. It's gonna be Lex.
It's
God.
always remember this. No matter what, it's still Titania and Oberon. It's not actual elven nobility.
Yeah.
Tanya and Oberon come from the Feywild, and that's
Yeah.
fucking nuts. That's
Yeah.
We were told chaos.
Yeah.
No
It's true. We
order.
could probably get away with like starting a food fight and be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tanya
like
and
full on
Oberon-
Peter Pan.
Remember, they have literal goblins and shit in their court, sitting at their
Yeah.
tables. They literally have food fights all the time,
Just
and
hanging out.
sometimes Oberon
Yeah,
kills people because they annoy him.
So this is definitely one of those. Drake thought it was bad. Drake was like, all right, it's gonna be one of those prissy note meetings. All right, you know what? We're just gonna stay quiet. And oh, I don't have to do that anymore. Wait. Remember storybooks. Looks and descriptions. Oh no, fucking way.
Fuck.
Oh,
When I
okay. This is gonna get
When
interesting.
when I said the words ambassador,
They don't trust nobody for that.
Mm-hmm.
so here's the big problem you're
King
gonna
and
have
queen
with
of the
this.
fairies.
It is Lord and Lady of the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, they don't have jurisdiction over the entire Feywild because that's impossible.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a
But
it's just a
they-
record. It's fine. It's
They're kind of like
fine.
bigwigs when it comes to the Feywild.
They're high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The highest of elves.
the
They're
highest
probably a little bit high as well.
level. They're basically pretty much. They're basically like elven progenitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
They
Eladrins
have gone.
came from them.
They are so far. They have stopped being elf. They're just pure fey.
Yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much. All right, so we're going to take about 10-15 minute break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get more drinks and do other things, and we will be back. Thank you so much for being with us. Cheese plates have been achieved, and we're ready to have a fancy dinner. Thank you all so much for sticking around. We really appreciate it. And thank you so many raiders for sticking around. That's amazing. We love you very much.
We're totally
yeah.
not in danger.
Totally not in danger. We're
Totally not.
We're
It's fine.
totally
It's
not
fine.
Like
in
we
danger.
have a
Not
history with dinners.
Maybe about to
Right? Every
Yeah.
fancy dinner we go to, just some
Every dinner.
insane shit.
Even when you
happens.
try and get a sandwich, the world explodes.
Literally. Literally.
I'm not
some
allowed to
dumb
eat
shit.
Sam.
This is how adventurers stay fit.
No, for real.
They never get a chance to
We
eat.
don't
Not
get
Dude,
to
allowed
eat.
to
We
eat.
just
fasting,
get
adventurers invented that shit because they never get to finish a fucking meal.
So the High King goes around and gets into
boy.
his seat. I want to know where everyone's going to sit.
I-
Remember, to the left and right of him is Lord Oberon and Lady Titania. Lady Titania is in the seat of honor to his right.
Yeah, so it goes Titania
Oberon,
and well, I'm doing like
Oh,
one side then the other
Titania,
side.
empty seat.
Titania, empty seat, Wizard,
Wizard,
empty
empty
seat.
seat.
and then it goes Oberon, empty seat. Fucking, I'm just picturing the little desk trolls with like their hair that goes up like this. And then empty seats. So who wants? Who's
Hell,
wherever
I'm
Val
gonna go sit
sits?
next
I'm
to
gonna sit.
Tanya.
Okay. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to sit.
You're gonna
Fuck,
sit
I'm gonna
next to
sit across-
Oberon?
Yep, because I gotta sit across from Dad. Fuck.
Lex is gonna sit on Oberon's other side, in between him and the trolley dude, because they look like probably the two like toughest. So she's like,
No,
I
wait,
gotta.
think, no,
I gotta-
There's
thought it
another
was-
seat next to Titania, isn't there?
No,
Mhm.
there's only
No,
one
it-
seat
no,
next
no,
to
there's
Titania and
no-
one seat next to Oberon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, Lex, you'd have to sit next to the troll, dude.
Okay. Lex
Remember,
is
he's
sitting next to the
tiny. He's
trolley.
about as
dude.
big as a gnome.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that he's not dangerous.
Doesn't mean he's not built.
Size does not matter.
Don't
Size
say
must
he's built.
It
like a
is. It
baby.
is all about the heart.
Okay.
Lex is a
See-
shifter. Do shifters have tails?
No.
Oh God.
Alright.
Um,
So
Now
you
I'm
guys go to
concerned.
as you guys go to take your seats, and Cassie, where is Callie gonna sit?
I think
I'm
Callie
writing
would
down
sit
the
next to
seating
the
chart.
mage. She'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Yeah, okay.
the chair. Okay.
So Val, you take your seat next to Lady Titania. Utopia, you take your seat next to Lord Oberon. And Lex, you sit down next to the troll. Lex, you sit down next to the troll, and
Yep.
Callie sits down next to the wizard. And
Where's Drake sitting?
where's Drake sitting?
Yeah, where is Drake sitting?
Where is there left to sit is the question.
There's actually empty seats beyond that, so you can sit anywhere else you like. You can sit next to either Lex or Callie.
We'll sit next to Callie. Change it up this time.
So as you all are seated, servants come in, fill wine glasses and water glasses. You see that everyone's already eating. Lady Titania has what looks to be some kind of a plate of mixed fruits, berries, nuts, grains, and actual like pieces of cheese and stuff like that. But it looks like all very kind of raw food stuff. And so she has been, she's actually just picking up pieces of fingers. In front of Lord Oberon, there looks to be a large leg of an animal that's been cooked to a char, but not very much. And there is a large wine glass to his right. In front of the little troll, there are all these small cakes, like cupcakes. And directly in front of the wizard, in front of him, there is just regular, meat and potatoes type of dinner. As the High King sits down, he kind of looks around everyone, and he says, I am greatly thankful again that we could all make the time and effort to have this gathering. I am Dafid, High King Dafid, and I am son of Warren. My full title is Daffod Ap Warren, High King of Ariel. I address you now as your host for this summit. I have been speaking with High King, with Lord Oberon and they have expressed to myself that their wish is simply to provide more direct access to the Feywild, to allow their people who have been separated for over 1,000 years to have access to their home plane. He has told me which races are of the Feywild, and I have assured him that I have seen all those races living and surviving and thriving, even here. He says, so there is obviously no distress being caused by them not having direct access back to the Feywild. But as they are subjects of the Lord and Lady, they considered it an utmost urgency that that channel be open. I informed him that there are servants of the Mist Mother who are walking the earth, and that we would do everything in our power to arrange a meeting with her. And all suddenly fell into our laps as if by providence. So, we have been playing host to Lord and Lady Titania and Lord Oberon. We thought it would be wonderful if we could see if we could actually make it out. Lady Titania, I will leave it to you. Describe to our patriots what you and your Lord had in mind. Tanya speaks for the first time. Her voice is like a combination of a melody and the sound of a stream flowing over stone.
Oof.
It is very simple. What we propose, that no matter the outcome, Feywild will withdraw its support from coming of the other armies, which means that they will lose access to all the gates and portals have been utilizing through the Feywild. The Astral Sea, so large and so difficult to navigate at best, is going to greatly slow down their troop movement. Because therefore, us removing their access to Feywilds will greatly impair their ability to attack more than one location at once, which we understand has been thrown any form of resistance into evil. The fact that attacks come everywhere. For this, we would require that Feywild be granted unfettered access to the Mist Mother. That means there would be no more barrier between the realm and other than the natural barriers. We would also withdraw any troops support or magical conveyance that we have.
We are concerned. Would this not provide risk of retaliation from the opposing side?
For us or for you? Or already
you.
under the retaliation of the others?
No, we are referring to you.
Oh, well, once we close our borders, it would take a mythic effort. Rebreathe. And they are not in a position to spend so many resources on tasks. They would just try and redirect things through the astral or through the plane of shadow. But the plane of shadow has its own problems in the fact that there is no such thing as unfettered access.
Right.
The Night King is already proven that summon quite a lot of reserves, but he still has to literally battle his way through his. And Plane of Shadow is only accessible through shadow. Therefore, they can only attack at night or from some place that allows them to disembark a large amount of people from dark. And there's always attrition.
Right. Val gestures to himself. We find your proposal appetizing, but we cannot speak for our crew.
She kind of looks at you and she says, not meaning to impart any offense, but I am not here for your crew. I am
You're
here
here to speak to the Night Mother's representatives.
Yes, and that Miss Mother is now a triumvirate
Indeed, she is.
for the Night Mother.
I do, at least in this particular circumstance. She has displayed that she understands an error she made a long time ago of cutting everything off. Not everything was as offensive, aggressive, and selfish as some of the invaders of this land is now.
Well, we don't wish to dally on the concepts of evil that is currently attacking you. I am fairly certain that anyone who attacked us would be considered to be evil. But I wanted to make sure that it is understood that we wish to make a solid bargain that would be covered by all three aspects. Is there any way we can make that happen?
I believe there may be. A moment. And he is going to kind of just close his eyes for a moment, really focus, really tap into that power he felt before, the connection, until he feels something solid enough to either get a message through or request their presence.
As you close your eyes and you express yourself internally, you feel that presence. And you feel it near. But you understand that there is one huge problem. Very bright in this.
Can we do something about the curtains? Temporarily.
The High King looks up and he says, may we remove some of the light? And some servants come out and they draw the blind or draw the curtains closed. And there's
Val will like conspiratorially just kind of lean over just a little bit to Lady Titania and go, "This is the fun part."
Lady Tanya looks down at Val and she says, "Is always says no matter what, no matter the outcome, even if things don't go well here, Pack presses on. One side or another wins, side dies. Always."
It's an interesting way to look at it.
When you are an eternal being, sorry you're mortal.
As are we.
Really?
Tell it.
We'll talk later.
Oh shit. Now what have you done?
All right.
Now, what have you done?
Dad, what have you done?
Dad, what have you done?
Dad, what the fuck?
What was that
Possibly
about Dad
security
having all the
mortality?
brain
Who knows?
cells?
What's that about Dad? No, see,
Don't
Drake
make
borrowed the
deals.
brain cell to
Don't think.
Dad's supposed to have the brain cells? I think not.
Dad's brain cell fell
We
into
haven't
his
offered
crotch.
anything.
Dad's brain cell fell into his crotch. And so
I mean, that's very fair with
Oh my
Titania.
god. Oh my god.
Well, hopefully it wasn't too heavy.
I don't know. She might be a fan.
I mean, Drake, you're the one expressing yourself right now.
That is
I'm saying.
true. Just
So
expressing yourself all over the room.
as the shadows grow and lengthen, you feel the Night Mother's presence strengthen. And oddly enough, the Night Mother steps forth from the shadow of Lex's chair.
Lex, like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut this time.
Alex doesn't say shit.
And the Night Mother stands there behind Lex, and she says, I have come, my acolyte. And then her head turns towards Lady Titania. Once again, all you can see is her lips, her mouth, from her mouth down, because the shadow's covered. And she turns to Lady Titania and she bows. Titania nods. Lord Oberon stands, bows, and she nods to him. And the little troll sitting beside Lex says, Lord Oberon offers his greeting to the Lady of the Night. Lord Oberon offers obeisance and wishes to express his gratitude for her attendance. The Night Mother nods and she says, we are equally graced by your presence, Lord Oberon. And Lord Oberon nods. Lady Titania says, I assume that you are aware of everything that's spoken before your acolyte. And the Night Mother says, we do track our acolyte comings and she says, Lady Titania says, is this arrangement something that all three aspects can agree to? The Night Mother says, I can believe it is that all three aspects would welcome any means to stop loss of life. And as our acolyte told you before, nods to you, Drake, we acknowledge the mistake we made when we chose to limit the access to the Mist Mother. Feared contact from the outside. And we chose to live in that fear rather to then embrace everything that our children would. And Titania looks at her and she says, often children without supervision prone to and the Night Mother kind of like almost if almost feels like she steps back like she's stung. I will defer to the lady's vast are and Titania kind of raises one eyebrow And she says, if you are willing to speak for the Triumvirate, we'll act with you. And the small troll says, Lord Oberon, to express that he is prepared to pull back all of our forces, which means that the resistance that Iambar has been facing will fade, and that the attacks that are happening on the twins will be alleviated, as those are the concentrations from the Feywild. And Titania says, and paths that we have provided them through the Feywild to safely move troops to gain access to the plains entrances to your realm will be shuttered to them as well. They will no longer pass through them. They will have to either go through the Astral Sea or the realm. The Night Mother nods to her, and she says, this, and we will provide that the planes of existence have proper access to our realm as it should have been in the beginning. And the night, and Lady Titania stands up and says, are we at an accord? The Night Mother says, Tanya says, that is all. And she says, and the Night Mother says, I have, unfortunately, pressing business. And Titania nods. Oberon stands, bows. Night Mother kind of, she grabs you by the shoulders, Lex, and she kind of brings her head right next to yours ear, and she says, even though they will be held to their word on that, all have never dealt with the Fae. I only have knowledge of because of who I am. They will still try and bind you. Their nature. Not enter. Wording. Very. Guard your. Drake, if there is anything needed to be signed, will have been given the authority by the Night Mother. Signed for.
Very well.
Turns and says, in that case, I will let you get back to your feast. We'll get back to trying to keep children alive. And looks at all of you. Thank you. I wish that I could say it's your job is done. This is a
I
great
understand.
Tis only the first.
And
Nice,
she's-
we finally made one.
And she stops and she looks at the wizard sitting next between Callie and Utopia. And she looks at him for a minute and she says, kind of stops and she looks and she'll reach out to you again. And she kind of steps back into the shadow of your chair and she just fades. The old wizard leans down to you, Callie. Very odd. Why did she stare to me?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hmm? You know something?
Maybe you have something on your face.
Oh no, I don't think I do. And he holds up his hand, and like the water from his water glass comes out of the glass.
Oh my god.
And
I mean,
comes a
I don't
mirror
see
in front of him.
anything.
He's like, no, nothing in my beard.
But maybe she has like special superpower senses.
Oh well, let me know, and I would have special superpowered my appearance to be healing. I mean, I don't know how I could be healing. But I could try.
This is not your real appearance.
Like, well,
Yeah.
we're Fae, boy. Our appearance is
Ah.
whatever it needs.
Suppose that is fair.
The-
Hmm.
I am the Duerden. The aspect of the mortal and the magic.
Ah,
I'm a wizard.
That does
I
make
get it.
sense.
The ropes. Okay.
We
pleased to make your acquaintance.
yes, it's a
And-
pleasure.
The voice box is Puck.
Ah,
Wait. Isn't the Puck from Legend?
The Puck says, "There is no other. I am the Puck. The Puck is I, and I am he. I speak for Lord Oberon when I am speaking at all."
Even when you are speaking mischief.
I never speak mischief. I never speak lies. I speak only the truth. If you are wise.
Val kind of scrunches up his face a little bit, like as if he's like concentrating. Like,
Yeah.
leader of that fairy band, hear the mortals present at hand, and the youth mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Let us their fond pageant see. Lord, what fools these mortals be.
Yeah.
That was what the bard wrote when the bard wrote what he wrought. But what he wrought when he wrote what he was not what he sought.
Sophie's putting her fucking face in her hands, being like, "This is why I failed English."
Oh.
What is happening?
Lex's
For
ear is
once,
twitching
an
wildly,
interesting
trying
dinner.
to understand,
Oh yeah.
while also keeping in mind the warning that she just got given.
Yeah.
So that ear is just like twitching.
As
Fucking
your
ears
ears
going
twitching,
bonkers.
Puck looks up at you and says, "Kitty, kitty, soft of fur, where is your tail? Have you lost it, or has it grown so bold it is lying?"
Blank.
Does that happen?
There's a blank stare. Lex is like, I understood about half of that.
You're using a lot of words, buddy.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of
I'm
words.
not sure what.
Yes.
I'm not
I
sure what.
can't read
what-
any
what-
of this.
I'm not sure what went faster. Those words from one ear to another, or my ship through that demon's skull.
Like, well, you are the slayer of devils, although a devil you may slay, but a devil you may become.
Hmm.
I don't
I've
think
been a
that's
devil for a
right.
long time. Finally starting to realize it's not the only path out there.
He kind of looks up at Oberon. Lord Oberon wishes that if you wish to be a devil, then you must commit.
Don't stop. Shh.
That is probably
You're making
not a
a deal
good
now.
idea.
Don't make deals.
We're
It's like
trying to steer him more in the
like,
direction of his favorite
commitment's
word.
really not my deal, not my forte.
We're trying to steer him in another direction.
Yes, more of the heroic direction.
The most heroic among us.
He has titles.
I still wish you the best of luck with that. Commitment still isn't one of my fortes.
And Lady Titania looks at you and says, kind of like leans over and looks down the table at you and she says, "If commitment isn't one of your fortes, how are you an god?"
Oh,
That's for me to know and you to find out eventually.
that's a good point.
I wish I had time. It sounds like a wonderful
Some way to put it.
Utopia chokes a little bit, just
Yes.
remembering his fucking legs
Mystery.
crushed up into his fucking, just
Like, boy, you died. That's why.
fucked up pretzel.
like, oh my god.
The ear is still twitching, and Lex just remembers the feeling of trying to slowly break the metal to pull out
yeah.
the chest.
Puck looks at you, and he looks at you, Lex, and he says, "If you wish it, you can more than what you can become untwisted if you see."
Careful with those words around here.
Does that mean she can grow a tail back? I don't like that she's missing her tail. Are you
She's
supposed
not
to have a
missing
tail?
her. She's
How
not
long
missing
have
her
you been
tail.
missing your tail?
Puck looks at you, Cal, and he says, "You think like me. You think in the sideways with a slant. But when it's backwards and it can't, what are you going to think?"
Timmy's.
I think that when I can't think anymore, I'm going to be very sad.
But how can you be sad? Sad is a thought. Thought without thought is not.
That is very true. I think somebody will be sad because that would mean I would be dead. If I wasn't thinking, I wouldn't have life.
Friends, they grow in the dark, have life, voice.
They have no voice, but that doesn't mean they don't have any thoughts.
Has my soup been thinking to me?
Well, I mean, maybe not anymore because it's dead.
That is tragic and sad. Turtle soup is all I had.
Well, I'm sure the turtle was very grateful for the opportunity.
I think so. And he looks up at Oberon and he says, "I'm afraid that I must shut up now."
Well, it was wonderful to talk to you.
He says, "It is an honor, Calavatia."
I didn't even wear a name tag this time. That's a cool trick.
The moment the name gets dropped, Drake just
Yeah.
immediately just gives a slow, like, warningful look. Not towards
Yeah.
Callie, but towards Puck.
Puck says, "I uttered not the full course. I stayed my hand."
Wait. If a lot of elves come from Fae, does that
Mhm.
not mean that
I have met a cousin today.
I knew it. This explains so much.
Drake will actually,
It
like,
does.
hearing just like
Just-
ever so slightly slowly lower the hood, showing off the ears. He is half elven, but it's like everyone has their origins.
He says,
The Genasi, for instance, trace theirs back to the planes of the elements. For instance.
Tanya says, "Yes, the Genasi are very much plain. But once again, that will be yours to figure out. We only wish to make sure that the Dendian that our subjects have access to their home."
Don't worry, Drake. I don't think I'm included in that. I think there's too many generations removed.
And Tanya looks at you and she says, "Hey, child, wish to come home. You are always welcome."
Well, if I had a home to go to, that would be, an option. But kind of everywhere is my home right now.
Although wonderful, welcome everywhere. We would love have someone favored as the Myth Mother as you are join our court.
Mm.
Would provide you and yours with a home.
I'll consider it.
We are honored by your consideration. And she looks down at you. She looks. By the way, Val, she's taller than you.
Of
So-
course she is.
She looks down at
I'm
you,
every
Val.
mountain.
Climb every mountain. So we started out in a bad foot before the show, and this has gotten worse. That was my fault.
Both feet are bad. Yeah.
So they look at you and they say, if we are going to aid the Miss Mother in some way, what would be, other than what we have talked about, the best way we could?
We believe that what you have done is sufficient. We do not wish to ask more of you than you have already offered to give.
A wise course. But nothing is ever offered. What if, beyond the alliance we have made for both of us benefit, we could offer something more if we were given access to something of value?
Of what do you speak?
If we were to say, provide your troops, navy, safe passages through the Feywild, in order to get them from place to place without the enemy knowing. Would that be something that your people are interested in? The High King says, I cannot speak for all people. As long as my people are protected here, we will stop your aggressions here, then we would not willing to press our military any further than it has to.
And what would you ask in return?
Tanya says, 1/4 of all dust.
You're aware of its effects. I take it.
We are aware that it is magic.
And how would you collect it?
That would not be part of. Oh, how would we collect it? Collect it when you bring it to us.
Very good look to the king. This is more his forte.
The king says, we could supply you the dust that we normally attempt to dispose of. However, we would want to negotiate other armed forces for this act. Tanya says, would that be something you would be willing to do if the negotiations on your side went well? King says, I would not be opposed. I must press it before my own council, before we even begin discussions with the Elatrans or anyone else.
Be warned with the Elatrans. They tend to jump at the bit whenever there's a chance to seize an advantage, even if it means taking it by force.
King David goes, I have dealt with the Elatrans more than your parents were probably alive. I
That was-
understand.
I understand that well, my king, but my warning was not towards you.
Oh. I have been speaking with the Lord and Lady for several days now, and I, rest assured, think that they can handle themselves.
It's wonderful. Though I doubt you've heard the rather interesting situation that has occurred. As you know, we are free agents of the Miss Mother herself. One of their own has accidentally, I guess in a sense, brought a sort of karma onto themselves. They have given us the same kind of pull regarding equipment or needs in order to accomplish our mission for the Night Mother, as they usually take around acquiring things of their own. Ironic, really.
We understand that you may have that jurisdiction in the Latran territory. Understand that anything like that done here would be considered an act of aggression.
Oh, believe me, I am well understood.
I
That's
just
not
wanted to
my
make it clear.
intention. I thought you might at least find it humorous that their own techniques that they use to acquire what they need is suddenly being able to be used against them by free agents.
That would be your choice. Not know if betrayal of a trust is something you will readily do, but
Not betrayal, but if there's something we need that they have possession of, we have authorization to acquire it. Hence why we have the ship that we do.
Peaceably, if at all possible.
Of course.
he goes, looks at you and says, exactly what are you attempting to say? Are you offering to make acquisitions on our behalf?
We know of the man who put us in this position. He is well connected. He may be able to help give negotiations a leg up. He has a way with words and people.
If that were to be true, if that were to be able to be brought about, it's the cat.
As you know, our ship is in need of repairs. Though admittedly, with the threats we have encountered as of recently, every time our ship gets fixed, we run into something somewhat beyond our capabilities.
If you had run into something beyond abilities, you probably wouldn't or be here.
Well, let's just say it is somewhat of a good reason I am here, as I am extremely adept at improvising. Something the Latran Navy is in dire need of.
So, are you proposing that we provide you with repairs and provide us with access to a favorable position within the Elatran Navy for the negotiations?
Partially. We saw the show of force on the way here.
Of course.
Not show of force, showboating, some might call it.
voting? No. What are you referring to directly?
In the mental link, Drake, pull back, pull back, pull back.
I
like-
if I may, I believe my friend doesn't have a terrible amount of experience in these settings and maybe misinterpreting what is courtesy as some kind of show of force, showboating. We're glad that you sent your wonderful carriage to us. It was very impressive and something that I've heard stories about your technology. It was an honor to get to actually ride in it. I think he is misinterpreting that courtesy towards guests as something else because it's not his experience.
Was an ornate taxi. But
Yes.
there's less ornate taxis that fly around the city.
Yes. I believe he
And there's the train and the bus.
Yes. I think he misinterpreted. So
No, that I guess that could be considered showboating. Running water. I will say one thing as a
In the mental
king,
link, you had that coming.
as a king, sitting inside is a wonderful privilege.
It's good to be the king.
But the fact that we as a culture have put more care and investment, education, knowledge, and the development of the sciences, as well as the incorporation of the magics into those sciences, is the only reason that we have automatons that can fly and other such things. And because we focus less on those aspects of our society, or focus more on those aspects of society and less on needs from supplying the military or anything like that. You know, we have the second largest naval fleet, but just because every single one of our ships can be called upon to turn into a naval vessel. Every single one of our crews are merchant marines. So they're all trained by the military, both Dragonborn and Gnome and any other crew members alike. To become a crewman on any one of these ships must serve 2 years in the military.
That's extraordinary.
We are a small planet, but we are rich in resources. Therefore, we are a prime target for larger, less industrialized society.
That is
More
fair.
than understandable.
We've been approached by Elytra several times about becoming a satellite of theirs.
Why did I want to say subsidiary?
Subsidiary.
And not
Subsidiary of
inaccurate.
Elytra.com.
they were offered the chance to be a submissive to Elytra.
Right.
A lot just wanted to
Hey.
top us,
I
but
just wanted to top us, but we said, nah, we got robo horses, so fuck off.
We got robo horses.
Civilization such as this should, in fact, value its independence highly. What
Agreed.
you've done here is nothing short of a marvel.
It is an honor to hear others say that. But in all truth, we gave our people unfettered room to grow.
And that is good.
We do not require any of our citizens to worry about housing or care. Everyone.
Communism!
What?
Communism!
Everyone here contributes in whichever way they find be comfortable. It is better to do what you wish and love rather than just survive.
I can respect that.
And for the processes that are less than pleasant, made automatons.
Tell us, do you have any need of bards?
We always enjoy the arts.
Are you hiring?
Are you
Once,
hiring?
once this is done, we may seek maybe a home here. This place sounds amazing.
Barring that
This
we
could
all
be a place we buy
survive,
we could have a house. We could have a house here. Totally viable.
Titania kind of raises an eyebrow. I thought you were moving to the Feywild.
Well, I recently introduced Callie to the concept of multiple houses, so
Yeah.
maybe she could have a house here. She could have a house in the Feywild, one in Evertree, I believe.
I've made no commitments to one place yet.
She says, well, I admire a free spirit. Titania kind of looks around the table and she says, I think that with all the preparations that need to be made, we should probably adjourn early, head back to our own demis, where we can begin enacting all that we have discussed. You will see a reaction in your own realm quickly. Be prepared to capitalize. It will take us 3 days to put everything in place, but then everything will happen at once.
It is greatly appreciated.
Get the word out as best you can, but remember, best not let that word fall into the hands of the...
Of course.
I hope your armies can capitalize on this and maybe see back some of the... The Feywild has never needed prime material plane. Literally, our domain grows as it have no need. We just occasionally spill out into the prime material plane. Abundance is as abundant. I thank you all. It was my hope that we would be able to make a resolution. In all honesty, I was not sure that it would come to pass. Drake, give my regards to them. And we will discuss the other item as soon as you all make your decision. David says, we will reach out to the proper channels. Drake, and then Oberon stands up. The Werden stands up and Puck jumps out of the chair. And Oberon nods to everyone and he turns around and out of the ground, 2 points about 6 feet apart, vines just begin growing up out of the stone. And they grow up into a huge arch. And as they grow up into the arch looks like it just fills with water. And there's like a rippling pond. Someone continually drops a stone in the center of it, and the waves ripple out to the edges. And as Titania stands there and she says, if there is anything that my lord and I can do for you, Titania like holds her hand out and then she makes a gesture, and in front of each one of you on the table, a small red river stone lands on the table in front. Each of these stones will provide you with one request that must be in my power to grant. Once used, the stones will fall to dust. This is a boon that my lord and I for your aid in this. If you make a request of the stone that it cannot grant, or I cannot grant, then nothing will happen.
Thank you. I don't know what else we can say.
Nods. I think that it is best if we agree that although this went well, there will still be much needed work on the relations between.
Of course. All in due time.
We look forward to it. And with that, the entourage walks through the gate. The leaves and vines, the water kind of just collapses onto the floor. And the leaves and vines instantly begin wilting and dying over. And King David goes, been here for 4 days.
It's lucky we arrived when we did
That
and
must
needed
have been
repairs.
exhausting.
Like, I have some functionaries that may be pumpkins now. Hopefully when they left, they turned them back.
Anyone's guess at this point.
Not we'll have pumpkin pie for dessert. I'm
Please tell us
joking.
what,
Good lord. 'Cause you all, you go through this type of thing all the time.
Yes.
Well,
This is-
Ish.
This is the first time dealing with the Fae.
With Faye, yes.
But this type of thing, this
I mean,
night
I-
mother showing up out of, the shadows and
Yeah, she.
Oh,
That
yeah,
happens quite
That's
often.
quite routine. That's quite routine.
Trust me,
Fairly
the things
often.
we kill are much creepier and much worse.
Honestly,
I
a
don't know if I
couple of
want you
days,
to
a few
live
days
here
ago, I
anymore.
accidentally threatened her.
he said, David says,
I s-
I don't know if I want you to live here anymore if this stuff follows you around.
No,
I mean,
Uh,
once we
primarily
fix
it's not
things
less.
and
It's less.
survive.
It's less following us around and us more running into it or running towards it.
Probably more little column A, little column B.
Yes, well, either way, it's been a very exhausting several days. Please
Yes.
enjoy the rest of your meal. I will be sending out engineers to your ship, and we will make sure that repairs are made and quickly.
If I may,
Yes.
there's a current project that may be able to turn the tides, so to speak, in the works on the ship.
More so than
Is
what's
it-
already been done here?
To give the ship a much needed edge against those who would support the invaders on this plane of existence.
Very well. What do you require from us?
If they would, have your engineers speak with our ship's engineers on maneuverability. There are some projects undergoing for some of the smaller craft, but if it can also be used to alter the ship's engines to allow it to outmaneuver or outspeed our enemies, we could gain a much needed advantage, as our enemies do not follow the conventional rules of, say, the Elatran Navy.
He says, I think I know what you he looks at one of the servers and says, have General Wart come up and tell him to prepare a flyover. And he says, yes, sir. And he turns in his heel and he runs out of the room. He's like, I think I understand what you're trying to get at, and we will show you a sample of our wares.
It would be
With
most
the
appreciated.
understanding that they not fall into the hands of the Navy.
Oh, absolutely not. The ship we were going to practically steal from the Navy if they didn't give it to us.
We'll
At least
purchase
I
it.
would have.
I'm just gonna buy it.
We could have just
Yeah,
purchased
we
it.
were just going to buy the ship, Drake. We didn't have to steal.
And if they were going to continue on their plan to scuttle it, I would have taken it before they had a chance.
Well, that's between you and the Elatran Navy. Let's go ahead and call this incentive if you wish to change your allegiance.
Hmm.
Because in the meantime, I am an old man and am going to go take a nap.
Cool.
That is fair enough.
You all finish your meal, enjoy the comforts of the palace if you wish. We will have you escorted back to your ship whenever you wish. It's probably going to be, from what I understood from the initial appraisals of your ship as it flew in, probably going to be at least 2 days before all the repairs can be infected.
Well, then it's a good thing they need 3. It will also give us time to reach out to our contacts in the Electron Navy. My friend here is very good at long-range communications.
Ah,
Yes.
The Valentine messaging system.
we have our own means, but yes, I understand. Because in the meantime, I bid you good night.
Good night to you. Mr.
Good
King.
night.
Right, Your
Turns
Majesty.
and he walks across the room to where there was like a small door right beside one of the cupboards, and he kind of like opens the door and he goes through it and he just leaves. And the servants continue to serve food. It's very odd. The food that they serve is almost like it's like they didn't know what to prepare, so they just had a large bunch of different types of foods. Because, like, you know,
Sure.
they're asking you, like, would you like a plate of strawberries? Would you like a mutton leg? Like, the whole
Yes.
thing.
Lex takes a whole ass mutton leg.
Of course she does.
Drake will take a little of everything as he actually just kind of streets back and like, finally.
Oh my god, we get to eat. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Finally.
He's looking at this and being like, I have the worst urge to just hide a bunch of this because we never get to finish eating.
Utopia, there is one thing I can actually finally say in regards to a situation like this. Bask in the glow. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it may be the last.
Drake immediately gets punched.
Wow.
No, I didn't say Lex did it. I just said Drake immediately gets punched because somebody just attacked.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
fair. We just started
It's-
eating. We cannot finish.
It's a
Something has to
BBD that I
happen.
specifically created for this group called Dinner Ruiner. Just randomly attacks out of nowhere.
if they
also-
attack
also-
another,
actual
just nut out,
BBD.
shoot,
It's also
continue
it's
eating.
also in the shape of a large goose.
Just shoot it immediately, put gun away, continue eating.
It drops dead, and then another giant goose comes in.
A thunder
Also
goose.
Reloading.
Thunder goose.
Thunder goose.
Anyway,
Pantsless thunder goose.
so yeah, you guys have a wonderful meal. Afterwards, you guys are walking out, and a small gnome comes walking up, and he is like in a military uniform, not like Blue's dress uniform. It's like a standard uniform, more like battle fatigues. And he comes walking up, and he says, "Where is Drake?"
That
Do
would
we
be
all
me.
point at him? Yeah.
Like, I understand you are developing something and you wanted to know about how well our ships handle on those lines.
How good are you with blueprints?
Fine with blueprint. Would you rather just see the ship?
Indeed.
Like, stop on me. And you hear like just the rushing of wind, and a ship comes flying in. It literally is moving at breakneck speed, comes flying in, and comes to a dead stop next to the general. It is encased in light metal. You can see that there are two, what looks to be you remember I described you the railguns for the force system? Two of the railguns, which are on your ship, are huge because they're like what you use for gun batteries. But these are much smaller, and they seem to be encased in some kind of coppery metal. And you can tell what they are, though, because you can see this little... And this is the weird thing. Shield crystals are usually some of the biggest crystals next to the battery crystals because they had to spread the shield over such a wide area. These crystals are like no more... And you know from how much it costs to make a gun, a pistol, that the ability to shape a crystal down to that size is a master, an artisan level. And there's two of these guns on this ship on either side, and the guns are on a 360 swivel, and each one of those barrels has like 20 of those crystals. And a red force crystal that's half the size of the if this was a cannon, it was proportional. Blew it up, standard size of your cannons. The crystal in the red crystal at the back is half the size of the crystals you use in your cannons. And it's not a large... The crystals are usually made with a large flat surface to focus the power from, and then the shields compress that down into a tighter beam. This is made into a point. You can see the end of the point is flat. But whereas a red crystal point face is usually like 4 or 5 inches wide, the tip of this red crystal is no more than a half inch. And as the ship comes to a stop, a glass canopy supported on metal framework comes up, and you see a Dragonborn pilot who's uncoupling himself, and he's wearing this huge harness, and he's got this weird suit on that has all these huge like padded areas on it. And he kind of sits up and he says, sir, look.
Drake's just gonna give the entire thing a once over.
It has the standard issue. All the crystals on it are half the size you would. The two guns are on a 360 swivel. The motor is controlled from the cockpit on a second gunnery seat that's actually empty right now. And there is a crystal on the gunnery seat. So whatever mechanism they're using for the guns is run through a crystal, and it's probably a separate control system for the ship. So the gunner is separate from the pilot. And the guns rotate 360 around a base axis, and you can tell that they can pivot out a bit. You don't know if he can, if the gunner could split attention to target two things at once, but they could definitely be able to rain fire almost all the way around the ship. The only thing they would really be vulnerable to is direct attacks from the.
But with a good pilot, you don't have to worry about that.
Yep. The ship is about the same size as the one you have on yours. The metal inside of the ship that makes up the frame, you've been making metal frames, and your principle basically has been, we're gonna die. Metal frame is just there to support everything else that keeps us alive while flying, but if we get shot, we're gonna die. The metal frame on this one is incredibly thin and incredibly light, and you can't identify what the metal is.
I'll admit. I thought my design was revolutionary, but this is unlike anything I could have even imagined. I didn't think even any of this was possible.
General says, "You're used to the quality of Elatrin crystals, crystals. This is gnomish work."
Quality over quantity.
You broke up a little bit. Sorry, Sam.
Quality over quantity. The Latrans try to push out as much as possible so their work can be shoddy at best at times. You don't have that problem.
Says he kind of points to the gun barrels. He's like, "Have you Elatrin guns be able to produce that?"
Not in the slightest. I'd say so.
Each one of our gunships has 10
10.
of these.
He's actually just gonna pull out the book and turn to the page where they had done like the prime, like gotten all the blueprints. Like, this was our original concept for a small snub fighter, but this
Like-
seems to outpace even that.
This is literally almost exactly like the concepts that we originally came. It's like, this is after 20 years of development.
This is like going from piloting a P-51 to an F-14.
It says,
Like,
and as you're looking in the cockpit area, you see that where the metal comes around the cockpit, that all the metal framing is covered with that same stuff that the guy's suit's made out of, but thicker, and that the harness that he's in, the crystal's right there where he can get his hands on it, but the harness he's in, there's no seat. He's suspended by the harness, and there's springs that keep him in place.
similar to the system we worked out on that, except it's less like riding a horse and more like riding.
He says, we did everything we could to lessen shock on the body. There's still the matter of sheer force of what happens to the body, like inside the head. But we discovered that if we can allow for some inertial dampening from the body moving physically in the frame, and then reduce the chances for injury, special absorbency materials that the pilot can force themselves through much more rigorous maneuvers, and with the special training that we have been able to give them, they can stay conscious through things that would make other pilots.
In the outer rims of the Miss Mother, you learn to fly fast or die. This,
Yes, we've heard of that. We call it fly fast and die.
yes, but in something like this, if possible, I may want to give one of these a flight, see if it handles as well as it looks.
He gestures. Without a gunner in the back, you're pretty much just wanted to do any damage, you have to ram something.
You didn't think of putting forward-facing guns on it?
Why?
Less than the size of it?
Climb into the gun cabinet.
He's gonna hop in.
You put your hands on the crystals. The only thing you have access to is, but you understand how hot the red crystal is. You understand how long it can fire, how it's sustain fire. You understand, basically you have like an ammo count, shots before the red crystal is. You can also tell what the rate of fire is. You can also tell that you can rotate the two guns separately, point one backwards and one forwards, and somehow this crystal can split your vision.
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Because it would take a lot of getting used to. Gunners have to train extensively, good period of time. It requires being able to separate your content.
Separate your consciousness.
We have several people who are very, very good at it.
Huh.
they're training others, but it's a natural state for them.
Huh. Now, this is something I could definitely get used to. We could definitely. The concept for ours is a bit.
Well, if you're just starting out in designs of something like this, then yes, you're starting at the rudimentary point of it, and you do not have our crystal.
True. I don't suppose some of your engineers can help guide us along the path to streamline our designs slightly.
No way in hell.
I figured as much.
Like, this is an
Oh,
arms
that
race.
coming.
This is an arms race, and we're winning.
Of course.
Oh, you won.
I don't think there's any competing with this, and we're not here to compete.
The Elatran Navy still has numbers and still has overwhelming firepower in comparison. We go for precision and go for maneuverability and safety. Elatran military doesn't care how many soldiers they waste.
True. But
Unfortunately, pirates aren't much better, at least these ones aren't.
Pirates are concerned lately.
Well, these particular ones seem to be in bed with the enemy.
That's disturbing. Any names?
What was the name of the captain once more?
Yeah, I'd forgotten myself.
Hold on.
which one? What?
Lagros, the captain whose ship we currently own.
Oh shit.
Oh, the Dread Pirate Roberts guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's his
Good
name.
Pirate Doohickey.
Let me take a 5-minute break real quick. I know we're getting ready to log off anyway, but I will be right back,
Go
ladies and
for it.
gentlemen. Sorry about that, folks. Thank you very much for allowing us to jump up to take care of something real fast. Had a minor
Hey.
emergency, but we're all good now. So I think this is going to be a good place to wrap up for the evening, as Drake is going to continue to try and barter his way into nerd out and continue to barter his way into getting them to help him to build his ship out. And they're going to continue to say no. But
At least what he's looking for currently is like, okay, I know you won't try to help us. I know about the crystal and all that. I want help tuning the engines for more maneuverability. So if we can handle that, we can focus on slowly growing everything else. Maneuverability is our biggest concern.
And his reply would be basically, I can help you make him more maneuverable. You'll kill your pilots.
Well, I'm the pilot, so
That's not.
You'll kill the pilot
That's
and the
not
You'll kill
better.
the pilot and the gunner because they'll be smashed against the frame.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
Again.
No, I didn't die.
Yeah,
Only
she
he
didn't die.
almost
He's
died.
not the one that died. He
oh
did.
come on, that won't happen twice. I got it covered.
Oh my god.
Do you? Do you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
Yes.
I think this conversation is
Are
going to
you-
go nowhere.
Pretty much.
100% sure.
All right. So
100% sure.
folks, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate everything. We hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you again to all the raiders who stuck around. That was amazing, and we cannot thank you enough. If you want to find any of these amazing folks and the creations they make, you can find them online doing various things in various places. Let's go ahead and say goodnight to everyone and let them tell you where you can find them. Sam, let's start with you.
Alrighty. Oh, that's a first. I'm not used to this. Hi, I am Sam, or Markov & Co. on most social media platforms. Whenever I have the chance to actually utilize them. Work schedule's chaos. You guys can find me here on Wednesdays, of course. Over on Tuesdays, you can find me over on ADH Adventures, Turning Point, which as of, if I recall correctly, as of December of, we're reaching our 3-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm. You're about 6 months older than this game.
And as well, very, very soon, you'll be able to find me and the wife on the Starfield. Whereas 1 week on Saturday mornings, you will be able to find Vampire the Masquerade being played. On the following weeks, in the in-between, you will be able to find myself playing Hunter the Reckoning.
Anybody else?
That's it for me. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And if I am, I probably forgot it.
Oh, I don't. I was just making sure. Liz,
Hello. Hi.
where can people find you, Sleepyhead?
You can find me at various iterations of @messlist or @messlist2 on most of the various social medias. You can find me also, obviously, here on Wednesdays and also over on the Starfield on Saturday mornings, where I will be part of that Vampire the Masquerade game.
Dun, dun, dun. Vampire the Masquerade, where you get to be sexy and dead.
Or
drop
too
dead
smart for your
sexy.
own good.
What? What was that?
No, my character is too smart for their own good.
Yes.
But there's also Drop Dead Sexy, so.
Well, there you go. A little bit of A, column A, little column B. Cassie,
Yeah.
where can folks find you?
I exist on social media, kind of, at Lady Vamp, the TikTok, the Instagram, the Hive, the Twitters, the stuff. I am
the
also
stuffs.
all the stuffs. I am also on Tuesdays over on the ADH Adventures channel, playing a little trauma bean Rory on Turning Point. When I'm not being Callie, the happy, confused little mushling.
Mushling. The cutest mushling ever. And Milagros, where can people find you?
Hello, people can find me on the Starfield Monday nights and soon Saturday mornings every other week. I'm part of the Vampire the Masquerade group, and I didn't make a total dumbass on purpose. She's supposed to not be a dumbass. Her sire's a dumbass, and so is everyone else she associates with, but she's not. So
Allegedly.
I'm branching out. No, I'm branching out. You should see her brothers and her sire. I can
He's
also be
actually
found.
not that stupid.
Yeah. No, you wait till you meet Brick.
I
Wait
can't.
till you
Remember?
meet Brick.
I can't.
It's
You
true.
know, you don't know. Brick might bite you.
If I don't shoot
On
him first.
Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, I'm here with Dinner and a Game. I am still trying to find freaking work, so social media and stuff is on the back burner because I'm trying to Frankenstein some stuff together. But I have stuff coming. I'm just basically planning and stockpiling a lot of stuff right now.
Got it?
Yeah.
And how's Nano going?
I'm not doing it.
Oh, the first
I
time.
could.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh no. I always do the November one. Camp
Okay.
Nano, which is April and July, is optional, and I was gonna do it, and I just couldn't manage. March whooped
That's
my
fair.
ass, and
That's
April
fair.
has also been pretty tough. So
Well,
hopefully I'll do July, or I could just pick a month when I'm feeling better and just do my own little thing.
there you go.
And remember, for those who don't know, that's NaNoWriMo, which is the writers camp. Well, that's Camp Nano, which is
National
National Novel Writing Month.
Novel Writer Month, yeah.
Yeah.
and Milagros has won it how many times?
I've won 8 times in a row so far, which is all the times I've participated. This year will be. Oh wait, no, I think last year was year 9. I think this will be year 10. then I've won 9 times in a row. I have to check. I've forgotten how many times.
So to say Milagros is a prolific writer is an understatement. And finally, Sphinx, where can people find you?
Hello, I'm Sphinx Akasha. You can find me Circle DM on TikTok. Sphinx Akasha just about everywhere else on the internet. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can of course find me right here with Dinner and a Game, playing. Not that game. Excuse me. Playing Emerald Sanctums and Kingdom of Mist, respectively. Every other Friday, you can find me with the Alex Bomb channel playing Initiatives and Intrigue. But this Friday and the opposing Fridays, you can find me on the 88 Adventures channel, where I run my own campaign, Agents of the Circle. My party just finished fighting the Wu-Tang Clan as part of their most recent test in the City of Bards, and they are now going to start exploring the 36 chambers of the Wu-Tang as they fulfill help one of their party members fulfill their ultimate destiny. On Saturday, you can find me with the 88 Adventures channel as we switch back and forth between Unlicensed Magic War Crimes and Heroes Arc. This week is an Unlicensed Magic week, so come check that out. And on Sundays, you can find me again with 88 Adventures playing The Tale That Never Was, which is full of time travel, tragedy, and shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Well, what game is not full of thank you very much, Sphinx. If you want to find any of Dinner and the Game social media links, you can Linktree, as well as his links for everyone else who is on this wonderful, wonderful game. And I thank you all so much for playing. Love playing with you guys. It's always a joy. We rolled 0 dice.
No dice.
No dice.
No dice.
We rolled 0 dice. It was strictly an RP session. That was wonderful.
No dice were
And
rolled
thank
in the
you
playing
all.
this game.
No dice were harmed in the play. No one threw a D20 across the room.
Oh no! Why'd you say that?
I mean, not today.
Today?
What happened now?
Was it yesterday?
I might occasionally throw a d20 or two.
Nice.
But hey, that is a fine and honorable custom of our TTRPG.
It's true.
And that's why you always had to buy new dice. Because
It's a
inevitably
delay.
one gets lost.
Yes.
But in the meantime, if you want to support Dinner and Dame and you want to get cool merch, you can go to our merch store. If you want to support us and get cool coffee, you World's Taverns. Use the discount code Dinner and a Game and use that link and you'll use discount code at checkout and you get 10% off your entire order. And if you want to support us directly and be able to possibly join in our once a month game, we have a once a month game we run for our $15 level on our Patreon. It is a one shot that we do once a month, and we're still waiting for at least one more person to join at that level so we can first month. And that is going to be a level 20 one-off that's based around the D&D cartoon. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to run it. I hope we get that last person in soon because I really, really want to run it. But in the meantime, you can also support us at many different levels in the Patreon. They give you access to different things, and we really, really, really want to let you guys know that any support you give us is greatly appreciated. We'll keep doing this no matter what. We love providing content for you, and we are going to go now and take all these lovely people, and we are going to jump into someone else's. Oh, I didn't even have. Let me get up Twitch and see who is streaming right now. Now we're going to take this and raid on. We're going to take this and raid on Twitch, but we do not have the capability to raid on any other channels. For you other folks, we are going to say good night and tell you that we love you very much. At Dinner and a Game, we always save you a seat at the table. Please make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you're social distancing where you can. Wear a mask when you can. Surges are forever. It's incredible and sad, but it's true. And so we want you to be okay and be there for each other and for us, so you can come watch our shows and you can play games with us. In the meantime, let me see. Forktail.
Well, they're always entertaining.
They're always.
I know ADH Adventures is currently doing the one shot on the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I want to
TTRPG.
see that one. Let's go and
I forgot that was tonight.
And Questline D&D is playing. Questline D&D is playing Phantasmophobia. But let's go watch that one. I want to see that one. So we're gonna go. Oops, excuse me. That was. We're gonna go raid ADH Adventures. They are basically our sister channel. We love everything they do, and we have done lots of stuff with them, and we love having them. We're gonna go show them some love. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our audience, jump into their audience, tell them hi, tell them Dinner and Game sent you, give them a follow if you haven't. They're wonderful creators, and make sure that you give anyone you can your support in any way you can, which includes just follows or likes. They're wonderful, and we love them. We will let you guys go tonight, and we will see you guys. I will be on Dice Cream Sandwich on Friday for the Pure Havoc game, and then we will back here on Tuesday for the next episode of Emerald Sanctuary. We love you all. Thank you. Very wonderful.
You're good.
Going real slow on my end.